So what's the most valuable thing in the entire universe? A planet made of diamonds? A vault full of gold? Well, what if I told you there's a book that claims to be worth more than giving away your own body countless times across infinite worlds? Today, we're digging into the incredible story of the Diamond Sutra.
Okay, let's start with a little thought experiment. Just for a second, I want you to imagine the most extreme, the most generous act you can possibly think of. What is it? Giving away all your money? Sure. Donating an organ? Definitely up there. But what if you could do even more? Like way, way more? This is exactly the kind of question that the Diamond Sutra, one of the most important texts in Mahayana Buddhism, throws at us. It presents this wild comparison. On one side, you have this unimaginable act of physical sacrifice. On the other, just hearing a few lines from its pages and really, truly letting them sink in. The answer to which one is more valuable is probably not what you'd expect.
To even begin to get our heads around this, we have to break down what sounds like a completely impossible claim. I mean, how can a simple idea possibly be more valuable than an infinite act of compassion? Let's take a look.
So the sutra really goes for it when describing the scale of this sacrifice. It asks you to imagine giving your own body away as charity, not once, but as many times as there are tiny grains of sand in the massive Ganges River, and then doing that again at noon, and again in the evening. And then you repeat that whole process every single day for, and this is a quote, countless hundreds of thousands of millions of eons. It's a number so huge it basically just breaks your brain. It's infinity times infinity.
And yet, right after setting up that impossible scenario, the text just drops this bombshell. It says, flat out, that if someone were to simply hear the words of this sutra and believe them, without arguing, without a shred of disbelief in their heart, the merit they'd gain would be far, far greater than that infinite sacrifice we just tried to imagine. It's a statement that just completely flips our whole idea of value on its head.
Now, to get this, we have to understand what merit really means in this context. It's not just cosmic brownie points for doing good stuff. The merit you get from physical acts is one thing, but the merit from understanding the sutra, that's something else entirely. It's the kind of merit that fundamentally rewires your consciousness and opens the door to actual lasting enlightenment.
And it doesn't even stop there. The sutra lays out a sort of ladder of engagement. Just hearing and believing is already huge, right? But actions like writing it down, reading it, reciting it, and especially, this is the big one, explaining it to other people, well, those generate even more of this transformative merit. Each step deepens that connection to its core wisdom.
Okay, so let's get to the real heart of it. Why? Why is this text seen as being so ridiculously powerful? What is it about these specific words that can somehow outweigh infinite lifetimes of self-sacrifice?
The secret is that the Diamond Sutra isn't a book you read for information, not in the way we usually think about it. It's actually a tool. The name itself is a clue. It's meant to be a diamond that cuts through illusion. Its entire purpose is to take a sledgehammer to the rigid, fixed ideas we have about ourselves and reality. And the main targets are these four fundamental illusions that are seen as the cause of all our suffering. The idea that you are a solid, separate self, that other people are distinct, separate persons, that all living things are just separate beings, and that we have some kind of continuous, unchanging soul. The sutra's wisdom is designed to show you that these are just concepts we cling to, and real freedom comes from seeing how everything is interconnected.
And this is probably the most crucial point of all. Commentaries on the sutra make it clear you don't understand this book like a textbook. Reading it is meant to be a direct encounter with the Buddha's enlightened mind. It's not about learning facts. It's about coming face to face with the true nature of reality. The book is the experience.
Okay, so we've talked philosophy. Now let's get into some of the truly incredible stories that have sprung up around this text. Stories about people who took this idea of its power very, very literally.
Our first story takes us all the way back to Sui Dynasty China. It's about a scholar, family named Gu, who clearly bought into the sutra's power 100%. He decided he was going to make his own very unique copy of it.
So get this. He goes out into an open field, and with his finger, he traces every single character of the Diamond Sutra in the empty air. And for years after he did this, something really strange happened. Whenever it rained, a patch of ground, right where he had written the text, stayed perfectly dry. Later on, a visiting monk came to the village, saw this spot,
and bowed to the empty space. He told the villagers he could see celestial beings who were gathered there, constantly worshipping the invisible sutra.
Now for an even more recent story, that of Yeonggak Sunim. He was a Korean monk whose entire life's purpose was basically unlocked after he recited the Diamond Sutra over 100,000 times.
His whole journey started with this recurring dream he kept having about a temple he'd never even seen before. Well, it turns out the temple was real, and the specific day in his dream was the memorial day for that temple's founder. Through this wild series of events, Yeonggak Sunim came to believe he was the reincarnation of that founder, who had died with this one huge, unfulfilled vow to print the entire Korean Buddhist canon. And so, fueled by this incredible revelation, he dedicated his life to finishing that massive project.
And all of this brings us to another really critical idea. The text isn't just a collection of words on a page. It's seen as a sacred presence, an actual object of worship, all on its own. And you don't have to take my word for it. The Sutra says this itself. In one of its most powerful lines, it states that any place this text exists, even a tiny part of it, that place should be treated as a stupa, a sacred shrine, and it should be worshipped by everyone, from humans to gods.
This comparison is really the key to the whole thing. A stupa is a shrine that holds the Buddha's physical relics, like fragments of bone or ash. So the sutra is declaring that the text itself is just as sacred. A stupa holds the Buddha's physical body, but the Diamond Sutra holds his living, breathing wisdom. It's his enlightened mind, right there, accessible to anyone.
So in the end, that's where its unbelievable value comes from. It's considered more valuable than infinite acts of charity, because those acts still happen in the world of self and other. The Sutra offers a direct path to completely dismantling that world. So to hold this book isn't just holding a book, it's holding the very tool, the living teaching that makes enlightenment possible.
This leaves us with a pretty fascinating thought to chew on. The Diamond Sutra is so highly valued because its ideas are believed to have the power to completely transform a person's reality. So it kind of makes you ask yourself, right? What ideas or books or concepts in our own lives have that kind of power? What words have the potential to reshape our world from the inside out?